Yesterday, I saw a post of a woman talking about how her ex-husband was a nice man, but wasn't a good man. And I want to talk about this a little bit. She goes on to basically detail how he was such a liar. He was super manipulative, but on the day-to-day, he was super nice. He would show up for her, do the little things. Like, he was never mean to her when it came down to it.
What? What does that mean? So he's a nice guy, but he's a bad person. Like, I'm totally confused. You see, this is why I say, guys, be very mindful of who you choose as your partner. Granted, she said she saw a post about this, but the fact that that woman went on the internet to talk about her man like that, why not just be straight up? You see how maybe they had a breakup or whatnot, but still though, like, some things should be confidential. Some things should be like, we should be able to talk this out. This is why I say it's very vital to, like, don't just go for the baddest joint. Don't just go for the one that you think looks good, or go for the one where the energy is being reciprocated. Because what does that mean? I'm totally lost. If you guys understand, let me know in the comments. But he's a nice guy, but he's a bad person. What? Which one is it? And she's saying that he's manipulative, he's this, he's that. Okay, if that's the case, leave him. And this goes for guys too. If she's doing the same exact thing, if she's not what she seems to be, like, right? Like, cause that's your person, right? It would be evident. It would be clear. If something is not working out in my life in a relationship, I end it immediately. I don't play no games. I'll be straight up. Or I'll be confrontational, but hey, I didn't like this, that, and then we can work it out. I wouldn't go on the internet and then talk about her, like, guys, we don't do that, right? But women, they will do that, maybe to get reassurance from other girls, to get advice. Instead of talking to him, that's mind-blowing to me.
And she mentions essentially that this is just like a mind fuck for her because she couldn't really like necessarily be mad. And it kind of just like fucked her up when it came to like her trust. I wish I could stitch her video so bad, but I totally resonate because I was thinking about this literally the other day. And I feel like something about like a nice man who still like lies to your face, still does things behind your back, but still will like take you on night dates, will get you flowers, will show up for you on the day-to-day, will call you beautiful, will reaffirm you, but you know that he's still doing his deed, is the absolute worst.
Then leave him. Then walk away. I make videos on this too, and I know girls be watching me too. I see my analytics. So this goes both ways. If you can tell someone's being manipulative like that, like, I feel like guys, like, especially when you're younger, you might have that phase where you're not as loyal or whatnot, but for every action, there's a reaction. So if you know he's cheating on you, why not just leave? Most of the time, they know that he's cheating. They know, and they like the resources that he brings. Maybe he brings a lot to the table. Maybe he's spoiling her. So if that's the case and you accepted it the first time, you can't get mad when it keeps happening. That's why it's always good in relationships to be straight up and direct. That's why I tell you guys too. If you want to have multiple options, let her know that. Whenever I'm talking to a girl and I'm not trying to take her seriously for whatever reason, I will tell her that straight up. Especially when they ask me, hey, what are we, this, that. I'm not going to, and I've never really been that type to egg on, or, when you're younger, college, like, everybody does that. Let's keep it real, girls, guys. So in this type of situation, that's you guys are a relationship. Like, I don't really get the confusion. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Literally makes you feel like you are so crazy and that you're digging for things. It makes you start to question your own intuition because you're like, he's so nice, he does all these things, like, there's no way that he's not a good man, because there are so many men out there who are not kind, who are not nice, and he's nice. It makes you start thinking like, oh, maybe he's just troubled, or maybe I can just fix him, or maybe he's this, or maybe he's that, but he does this, he does that, and you start making these little excuses for him that just add up. And this is why I think it's so important to not really focus on the little things when it comes to how someone is treating you on the day-to-day, but more so how they show up in all aspects of their life and in all realms. Like, someone can be very nice.
She makes a great point there. Don't look at the day-to-day, but look at the all aspect. She makes a great point, and I totally agree on that, because if someone is having a bad day, Are you gonna just go and dump them because maybe she gave you attitude or he gave you attitude, right? As men, we should control emotion. That's what I'm big on this channel. But because of a little minor situation, I don't think it's smart or wise to go on the internet or, to gossip about him or to even react emotionally. And this is why I always mention in my videos that women are more emotional. And that's obvious, right? So that's expected. That's why as men, we must stay calm, collected, neutral, right? But be very mindful that I told you guys this too. They notice all that. They notice the behavior changes, even if it's like a minor, like different type of energy in the text messages, in person. It's all being monitored. I literally mentioned that. You can see this video up here, but you can see the full breakdown of where I talk about this in this video, that you're being watched. So you gotta be very careful when you go into relationships with certain individuals, because if you can't be your fully authentic self, sometimes they will punish you for that. And that's why it's good to go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. We are all humans, right? Like, we're gonna have a bad day or bad week. I mean, granted, as men, we shouldn't really show that emotion, right? That's why I say keep it neutral. The moment you start acting out, the moment you start, showing your emotions or acting different, this is when trouble happens. I always bring this up. It's unfortunate, yeah, but that's us as a man. That's what we got to do. We got to hold our frame, hold your masculine frame, right? That's why I say certain things you don't have to tell her. Certain things, keep it for the guys, for the fam, or whatever. Keep it to yourself. You have to. That's our jobs as men. But when you start, even though he didn't bring it up, when you start acting different, it becomes a problem. He could have got into a fight that day. He could have had something going on at work that just, got him irritated or got him acting a little bit different. Maybe he had a, intense workout and he's just not in the mood. But let's see.
Front facing, but they also can be a very malicious person. They can also be someone that garners a lot of trauma and is very defensive, or very manipulative, or a liar, whatever it is. But they can still be nice. And niceness is not enough. And I want a lot of more women to really realize that, like, just because a man is nice to you does not mean he's good for you.
So she ends it saying, just because a man is nice to you doesn't mean he's good to you. It's interesting. But so a man can be nice to you, but not good for you. That's very interesting, fellas. This is why I'm big on stay single if you have to. Don't settle for less. Don't, because sometimes your love, your affection, your energy is not being reciprocated. It's not being appreciated. When they say he's a nice guy, but he's a bad guy too, which one is it? This is why it's big to have respect for yourself, because 9 times out of 10, she probably brought it up to him. He probably kept it going, didn't really care too much. And then it just leads to, she just ignores it for a couple of days, and then it just boils up because she's emotional and she went on the internet to talk about it. Maybe they broke up before that, prior to that. But this is why it's crucial to try to keep, and if you can, maintain the same energy. That's why I'm always big on what you did to get her attraction, keep it like that if you want to retain her. I understand that it sucks sometimes, but that's why I'm big on having your purpose. That's why I'm big on staying active, going to the gym, because when you are doing these type of things, when you are always constantly busy, you don't have time to always be available for her. I'm not saying you ignore her forever, right? It's like you spend time with her, yes, but when you feel like you're irritated, I want this to be clear. If you feel like you're irritated, you're having a bad day, what I do is I avoid communication with certain people, especially if I have love for them, if I have respect, because I don't want my energy to be rubbed off on them. Does that make sense? And that's me being mindful. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but it's like it does, because I've noticed if I'm not in a good mood and I see somebody and I've noticed this too with people, friends, family, like they will take it personal, right? Especially with my girl, especially with girls, especially with females. And I've noticed this too, whether it's friends, family, or even your partner, right? If I'm with the girl and I'm not having a good day and then she asks me something or do something and I just maybe even respond, my tone is a little bit different or off, it can lead to arguments. And then I get confused. I'm like, what's going on? Like, you're probably having a stressful week. busy day, and then they add on to it. So the best thing you can do is to give space. That's why I mentioned, you can watch this video here too if you haven't yet. Yes, I mentioned to give her space, but sometimes you need space for yourself. That's why I'm big on staying active, going to the gym, having your purpose, focus on your mission, focusing on enlightening yourself, having time to balance. Even if you guys are together, like living together, find time to have your alone time. Find time to, go read, go study, go do what you want to do, right? Especially, and then if you can master this, especially when you're not in the good mood. Because when you're in a bad mood, think about it. This is usually when arguments happen. This is when drama starts. Because you're already pissed off, right? Let's be real. Like us as men, we hold on to a lot of things. Like whether it's trauma, whether it's a lot of emotions, right? Because as men, we got to hold that shit in and then just keep grinding, keep working. So when you're getting attacked like this, like it could not even be that serious, right? She has the right to ask questions, and she's taking. That's why I always mention that life is all about perspective, but many people don't care about that. They don't really care how your day was. A female's looking at you and thinking, you better have it together. You better always be here for me emotionally, physically, financially. That's why it's good to have that balance, man. I wouldn't have her rush in to move in with you. I wouldn't have her, especially if her energy is not compatible. You want to find a good low-key woman. You want to find a woman that understands you fully, understands that this is the best type of woman. When you are not in a good mood, she clearly understands it. That's why I mentioned that many people can't read the room, especially guys, but females as well. Some will, though. Actually, many females that I know, they can tell if I'm not in a good mood. They won't even bother me. They will just give me space. Give me an hour or two. Let me go on my run. Let me go do this. Let me just go, you know what I mean? For some of you that take naps, I don't take naps, but something to just cool off. And then she will come back and re-engage, and then I'll be like, hey, sorry, I wasn't in a good mood earlier. She'll be like, yeah, I can tell. These are the type of girls, these are the type of women that you should hold on to. You should treat her like a queen. You feel me? So be very mindful of who you choose as your partner or who you're in a relationship with, because you can be doing everything right. All it takes is one bad day, one response that doesn't go well, and then next thing you know, it leads to a breakup, it leads to all because it triggered from when you weren't in the right state of mind. You see, when you're always with her, this is why I say it's good to have space. This is why I say when you're always with her, you don't give no space. You're always available. What do you think is gonna happen? It's like when you're hanging out with your friends every day. Eventually, fights happen. That's for man and woman. Eventually, we get sick of each other, right? It's not in a bad way. It's just like you're comfortable. Like you guys are close. It's like that friend you was always hanging out with in college or high school. It's like, eventually, a couple fights might break loose, right? A couple of fist fights with your girl. If you're living with her every day and you just never have time, you're not working out, you're not on your purpose, right? You're just being a bum. And you're thinking you're living the life because you're being a bum with her maybe, or you're just staying in with her. It's like you have to stay active, stay moving. You understand? That's my key takeaways. If you guys like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. First reaction video, tell me what you guys think in the comments. If you guys like it, I'll keep this going, especially on the off days that I normally don't post. I've seen a lot of you guys comments and say you guys wish I posted more, so let me know your guys' thoughts. And until next time, guys, remember, clarity of mind, discipline, emotion. You got this. Don't overthink it, don't overcomplicate it. And I'll catch you guys on to the next one, man. Be easy.